Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So this is Cahalan Park. That's what that sign says right there. It's on Cahalan. It's closer to where I used to live by Oak Ridge Mall. So let's get to the next saying. Saying 3 of my paper. An attractive female should not choose a worldly male over the morally precise top martial artist ever possible, especially not because of mere emotions. My goodness. So they should not choose a worldly male, right? A businessman, you name it, right? Because that guy's hitting with a hammer, I'm going to go ahead and say a craftsman. I don't know if you can hear it, right? The guy, every once in a while he hits his hammer, it's very loud and so on and so forth, but, it is what it is. So as we look at what is fair, right? When we talk about justice, okay, there's a reason why the word romantic is like the word Roman, because the system of kind of social relations was given to us by the Greeks and the Romans. And it's not a fair system, right? Caesar wasn't fair. The meetings they had in Greece weren't fair. Okay, Socrates, who was seen as like the greatest Greek philosopher, he didn't agree with the culture. They put him on trial. And as the story goes, he was executed, and he didn't agree with it so much that even though they offered him the opportunity to leave and not be executed, he chose to be executed. He said, a life where you can't think deeply and question things is not worth living. And this is part of what went into the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, right? It's self-evident, right? If I can't be a human being, if I can't be given my rightful place, okay, which is being treated with dignity and respect, if you're a doctor, do you want to be treated like a janitor? If you're the president, you want to be treated, like a garbage man? Now keep in mind, and again, if you're a garbage man, just because you're a garbage man, do you want to be treated like filth? No. You want to be treated with dignity and respect is earned, and I'm the top martial artist ever possible, and society, including San Jose, has disrespected me to the extreme by shunning me, by fearing the government more than God and I, who when my flesh dies, I'll be at God's right hand, judging them according to their deeds. Wisdom is proven right by its deeds. It says by her deeds. Wisdom is proven right by her deeds, and foolishness is proven wrong by deeds as well. That's pretty straightforward. See, I'm a man of God and not of injustice, not of wickedness, not of conformity, not of being a thoughtless fool, but a man of sharp, just, righteous, and honest wisdom. True wisdom. Wisdom that universally is true. When compared to other people's arguments, you see that I am right and that they are wrong. I am right because of the light of God, the Lamb and the lamp, and they are lost like the harlot, the whore, the tramp. Is it not that simple? Is not righteousness and grace, and we'll get to that in another saying, are they not greater? Are not righteousness and grace greater than elegance and wealth and eloquence and speaking things in a theatrical manner? Is not the truth greater than psychology? Is not heart greater than a mere worldly art? Is not the Spirit of God greater than the spirit of any nation? That's why in Isaiah 34, it says all the nations will be totally destroyed. It says the armies of all nations, the land will be spiritually soaked in the blood of the wicked who refuse to treat the righteous fairly. See, the wicked are not just wicked, they're dumb. Because in a life that is short, in a life that is a pain, they chose to be wicked. They chose to throw the righteous under the bus. That's why it's called a throne. Because the wicked set up systems where they throw the righteous under the bus. And in Revelation 6, what are they complaining about? That they were thrown. That they were trampled by mere human beings who chose to conform instead of chose to have their heart beat with the tune of righteousness from God Almighty. God Almighty because the righteous are as bold as a lion. God Almighty because God is the greatest. God's wisdom is universally true and universally sound. There is no wisdom or insight that can succeed against the Lord, and the evidence that this is true is all over nature. It's all over the universe. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands, and they are greater than the work of man. Has man made anything like the sun after man has been here for 300,000 years plus? But God, who is powerful enough to not need to be created, has done greater things than man collectively has accomplished in his sleep, so to speak. As man continues to rebel, we see the evidence of their failure. We see the evidence in their decisions. We see the evidence in how they treat each other. We see the evidence in them playing political games instead of loving each other, which is the greatest commandment. Loving God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your being, which means bringing people to God and loving those people when they're in obedience to God. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you if you were righteous. Not if you were some kind of selfish, wicked worm, but if you were righteous. The selfish are thrown into the lake of fire where the worm that consumes them is never satisfied, where the fire is never quenched. And the Son declares that this is true. Before mankind existed, the concepts of justice existed. The concept of the logical assumption. Is it more logically sound to the rational mind to live a righteous life even if it kills you? Or is it more logical to be wicked? Of course it's more logical to be righteous. It's in every movie, in every story. It's in every letter in the Bible. Every stroke of a pen. It's in every breath the evidence that this is true. Through their righteousness, the righteous exalt God. And through their wickedness, the wicked challenge God. And they condemn themselves. And they seek to condemn their fellow man. When all is said and done, I will have lived a righteous life in complete submission to God. Who else can say the same? And if they cannot, why not? What did they choose that is greater than righteousness? Money is just money. There's 22.5 million millionaires and billionaires in America. There are a dime a dozen fools that chose to chase money instead of God, instead of righteousness. When even Socrates said the pursuit of virtue is greater than the pursuit of wealth. And then they have the nerve to define mental health on their worldly, profane, and secular terms. The reason why it's called profane is because it's fake, not because it's true. And the way is the truth and a righteous life. The way is not conformity.